Why don't we kick this off? First of all, I really want to say thank you for joining this session. I know there's a lot of tremendous choices out there for workshops, and I'm really appreciative that you chose this one to come to. Just want to let you know that as soon as the doors close, they're going to be locked so you can't escape afterwards. For those who I haven't met, and that's actually quite a few folks in the room, my name is Bob Boucher, and I'm a creative director at Cole Creative, which is a small marketing strategy and creative services firm in Boston. And I've been in marketing and advertising for over 30 years, I'm proud to say. At least I think I'm proud to say it. And I've been on both the enterprise side and marketing, on the enterprise side in marketing, and on the agency side where I am now. So for the last 10 years or so, I've been at Cole Creative in Boston. And let's see, about 15 years ago, just a little backdrop before we get going. 15 years ago, one of our clients came to us, and it was AGFA, and they said, you know, we've got this brand new press, this digital press called the Chroma Press. Would you help us market this? We said, sure, why not? So we've sort of been in this industry since the beginning and developed a real passion for this industry. So for the subsequent 15 years, we have been busy not only selling what you do, your digital print solutions to our clients, we've also served as marketing consultants to most of the major manufacturers, including Hewlett-Packard. And I have to mention one thing. When I talk about the passion that we have for this industry, I'm not being paid to speak here. Maybe I'm dumb about that, but it's just that we enjoy finding out what's going on in this industry so much that we enjoy. I've been here at Dscoop since it began, been able to speak or privileged enough to speak here for the last 5 years. And we have a lot, as I mentioned, that, you know, this has been our niche. This is sort of our blue ocean strategy, if you will, is to specialize in the digital print graphic arts solution space. Frankly, I wish there were actually a few more sharks in this space. I would like to see more agencies, more marketers, more people swimming around in here to raise the overall level of awareness for what you all are doing and doing so well. So why don't we get started? Topic today, as you know, is measuring marketing return on investment, or ROI. Some people think it's a pipe dream, for good reason, because it's always been, frankly, for me as a marketer, it's been a thorn in my side for these many years to try to actually pin the results financially to what I've done through marketing. Some people, though, are saying that it's a real possibility, and I have some events and activities to show you how people are really coming closer to that reality of connecting ROI with marketing. And the real purpose of this is why I think it's important for you. Because I think that these efforts, this progress being made at measuring ROI is an area that you can play in with some of the tools and the technology that you bring to bear. And we're going to get into that soon. Before I get going, though, I have a couple of quick stories. I want to share 2 stories with you. I have the pleasure, several times a year, of meeting before marketing people, of presenting to marketing people, and presenting to agency people. And it's usually on this topic, about what you guys sell, digital print solutions. And I often start that presentation. Matter of fact, I met with a group of marketing folks yesterday who were invited here by one of your peers for a small session, and I started with the same slide that I always do with marketers. And I say, okay, folks, let's look at your marketing toolkit. What do you as marketers use? And I started here, and I said, are all of you using these traditional tools? And by a show of hands, how many people have used one or several or all of these fairly recognized tools? TV and radio advertising, outdoor advertising, newspaper, magazine advertising, product packaging, point of sale, direct mail, PR, trade events, telemarketing, etc. And typically all hands go right up. Of course, they're marketers. That's what they do. And I say, okay, how about this? How many people are using these tools? A little more modern tools. How many are doing email marketing and social networking and search engine marketing, online advertising and mobile marketing? And most every hand goes up, but not all of them. I said, okay, good. Okay, by a show of hands, how many people are using these tools? They look familiar to you? How many people are using out there, I'm talking to marketers now, how many of you marketers are using variable data print or short run print? How many people are using personalized direct mail? How many people are using pearls? The eyes start to glaze over at this point. How many people are using custom, segmented, targeted labels and packaging? How many people are using the print on demand and web to print custom market segmented billboards And they're starting to get amazed. How many people are using QR codes? Now, of course, you recognize these. These are things that you do. So I've been in your shoes. I know, and I'm not here to insult anyone's intelligence by saying, just listen to me, do everything I say, and it'll be a slam dunk. I know how hard it is to get people to understand, to educate them about how this works, why it's important to them. Frankly, I've talked to a lot of people who get angry that they don't know about it. They want to know about these things. Second story is this. I've had to look at this face for the last 30 years. And this is not this particular face, but this attitude. And this is the CFO or the CEO of an organization that I've either worked for or with. And they would call me on the carpet and say, what am I getting for my money? What am I getting for my advertising? How many sales did you generate this quarter with my advertising dollars? And I go, whoa. Let me just tell you. Let me tell you about the brand affinity that we have. Let me tell you about the reach. Let me tell you about all the impressions. How about those leads? Hey, we won an award. And they would say, big deal. I mean, it was a really tough sell, a very tough sell. I mean, these guys would say, you know, we can manage finance and we can manage manufacturing. We know what levers to adjust and we know exactly what will happen when I adjust those levers. But with marketing, I don't know. I don't know what levers to move, and I don't know what's going to happen when I adjust them. So inevitably, if their year was not going as financially well, it was the first thing to get cut. I've had more cuts to my marketing budget at mid-year than I care to count. It's always the biggest line item on someone's budget. It's always the easiest thing to slash because no one really knows if it's going to make any difference to the ultimate financial security or results of that company. My next story is this. It's not like marketers haven't been trying to connect these dots. There's an actual organization that's been in existence for 10 years, and it's called the Marketing Accountability Standards Board. They are meeting right now, as we speak, in Austin, Texas, for their 10th annual meeting. And the goal of this group is as follows. They say, or the underlying premise is that return on marketing investment is inherently a financial construct. No measure is complete without a specific link to financial performance. They're dead set on proving this. And they say also that ultimately any marketing, that cash flow is the ultimate metric against which every business activity, including marketing, should be linked. This is what they're settled on. They're going to make sure that's their goal, is to make that connection. They say, well, of course, I mean, we have financial standards, very familiar, FASB and IFAS. These are standards that the whole world sort of has agreed to. There are manufacturing standards, such as ISO and ANSI. These are standards that most everyone in these businesses subscribe to. We want to do the same thing for marketing. That's a very noble cause. And they have some really intelligent people working on this. This isn't just some pie-in-the-sky people up in their ivory towers, some academics who think they can make this work. They have some real smart folks from the world of business and academia trying to make this happen. Now, as I say, they've been doing this, and they've been at this for 10 years. And they conservatively claim it's going to take them another 10 years to come to an agreement, to come to some standard that everyone can subscribe to that will help them measure their marketing ROI. So, okay, what do? I'll go home. What do we do in the meantime? It's not like marketers haven't got a lot of data. I mean, with the internet age and all its various tentacles, we have been inundated with. Does anyone feel they don't have enough data? Can I give any of my, if anyone does, I'll give you some of my data. I have more data than I know what to do with. The trick is which data is the most actionable, which data is the most important, which data will help me calculate my return on investment. I feel overwhelmed. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's more data than the mind can process in many cases. I have tried doing that. I've worked with a number of calculators, and in fact, HP, as part of its capture program, is rolling out an ROI calculator of its own this week. I wasn't familiar with that until I just got here, but I've worked on developing many ROI calculators. Typically, they're Excel spreadsheet formats where you can enter things like this. And this is one that I'm working with with another customer. Say you're doing a direct mail campaign and you're sending out 5,000 pieces. Well, the client tells me, well, what if we get a 2% response? Okay, I get 100 people out of that campaign. What if I get a 20% response for people who want demos once they've become? Okay, that gives me 20 people who are going to see a demonstration. What if another 20% of those are closed as deals? Great, okay, so you got 4. What if the average price per thing that you're selling, say, I'm just using a number, $100,000. So overall revenue generated $400,000. Everyone with me? And if the margin on that, in this particular case, is 29%, total margin is $116, and if my campaign cost me $70,000, I end up with a total revenue generated of $46,000. Okay, not bad, I can buy that. There's another marketing ROI calculator that I found online, and this one is really cool. This actually gives you sliders. It's interactive. You can slide the data back and forth. It's from the Lenscold group at lenscold.com. And this lets you, again, adjust the sliders back and forth on all these data points. How many pieces are going out? What's the return rate? What are you going to spend? What's the close rate? Blah, blah, blah. And this little calculator on the right will kind of tell you what your ROI is. I have only one problem with these calculators, in that there are many, many, many factors that affect a lead campaign. Does anyone want to guess what's the most important factor when you're trying to send out direct mail? Any guesses? Addresses, thank you. How good is the mail list? It's the biggest factor. It accounts for roughly 40% of the effectiveness of your mail campaign. So how do I know that list I got was good to begin with? Not all leads are created equal. Sorry, they aren't. How reliable are those conversion rates? The client tells me, oh, we can convert 20% of those people to demos, and we can convert another 20% of them to sales. How reliable is that? Is that based on, where are you coming up with that number? So you just have to be very careful when you start using these numbers. What if you're selling a piece of hardware that could be leased as opposed to purchased? How do you measure that ROI? Because that revenue is spread over how many years? So that's another factor to consider. And finally, that customer could have a net present value that extends, does have a net present value that extends over the lifetime of that product. It's like VJ was up here yesterday talking about the gallons of ink, right? That has to be accounted for in the net present value of that customer to your company for that product over its lifetime. These calculators fall somewhat short, in my mind. They're good broad strokes views, so I'd always use them with a grain of salt. I mean, they aren't too bad to show CFOs who want to kind of see some hard data now, but in reality, there are some caveats that's to be aware of. So marketers who have been trying to prove ROI for these many years have really kind of a short lifespan, a short shelf life at many companies. There are groups that measure the tenure, the average tenure at C-level, boardroom level organizations of Fortune 1000 companies. The CMO has an average tenure of something under 3 years. The CFO has an average tenure at last count of 4 years. And that's actually going down over the last few years. The CEO is kind of holding steady at around 6.5 years. So as you can see, relative to my peers in the boardroom, my tenure as a marketer is really tight to prove myself. But let's take a closer look at this. That 3-year tenure for CMOs is actually risen. That's a high point. 2 years ago, that number was 18 months. A year ago, that number was 24 months. The last time they counted, it was 3 years. So the numbers are going up. The tenure levels of marketers are going up. Now, let's be clear. One of the factors for that is because marketers are holding on to their jobs for dear life, right? They're not running off to find greener pastures and more creative opportunities as when they could. Those opportunities have dried up, so marketers are hanging on to the jobs. However, according to Ad Age, one of the Bibles, marketers are developing survival instincts. And what do we mean by that? Well, first of all, they're using direct marketing, stuff that you guys do, that can be measured a lot more than, say, brand advertising. What else are they doing? They're looking for new technologies to help them measure their business and help them speak with splintered consumer groups. Again, these are all quotes from the Ad Age overview of this article. The next big idea, marketers are looking to new directions for new ideas as opposed to what they used to do. Right now, those new ideas are coming from junior employees, from peers, from providers like yourself, from agencies, from customers. One last quote. More marketers are embracing analytics. And you've seen these, the rapid growth of CRM systems and Salesforce tools, embracing analytics and measurable results versus those squishier data points of consumer awareness and brand affinity. So what's the takeaway here? For you, in my eyes, you guys have tools and technology that will help, that can apply to each one of these observations. Does anyone want to deny or combat that notion? You offer direct marketing that can be measured. You have technologies that can help measure the business. If you're using Pearls and you have Pearl dashboards, you have some data points there that marketers didn't have before. You're a provider that can bring some new ideas to the table. And you can deliver some analytics that these guys have been so desperate for, in addition to the ones they're having. You can add a few more analytics to that. So I think, again, here's one point of opportunity for you. Remember this quaint expression, the customer is always right? It was great. Well, sometimes that was kind of what we grew up on, but then it became kind of a trite, almost laughable joke. I mean, at some point in the late century, customers somehow became more of a liability to a lot of organizations. I mean, the more customers you got, the more expensive they got to maintain. And it's like, oh, they're sometimes right, but gosh, they got so expensive. We're spending millions of dollars on customer support hotlines. And the customer kind of, I mean, how many of us have, I'm sure we all have gone through that, that phone thing where you go through 19 different numbers to reach a human voice. And the customers were not happy about that. And marketing, the model for marketing has changed. It used to be you took aim at your target market, you fired, and you hopefully hit your target. Yes, I spend way too much time developing PowerPoints, by the way. And thank you. Want to see it again? No, that's not. And that was how they did it. They go out and they kill their prey, and they go out and try to shoot another one, kill their prey, and bring it in. And that was it. It was a one-directional thing, as we know. But now, of course, with email and search marketing and social networks and all the rest, online advertising, mobile marketing, and QR codes, etc., it's a whole different story. It's a whole different dynamic going on here. It's no longer the fire, eat, go to the next target. And there's also been an evolution in how customers respond to us, as you well know. Used to be a customer could call up the call center, or they'd fill out their business reply card, or they'd just walk to retail and buy the thing that you were selling. Nowadays, though, they can respond via email. They can go to websites. They can go to Pearls. They can go into social media and kind of figure you out, see what other people are saying about you. There's also been an evolution in how marketing teams can respond to the customer's responses. It used to be, I can remember, Alice in the lead fulfillment room, sticking a piece of collateral in an envelope, licking it, and sending it out. Those days, so that was lead fulfillment. Or a sales call would follow up and try to set up a demonstration. Nowadays, though, as marketers, we have so many other ways to get back and talk back to our customers. Sorry for the overlap here. We have, and you probably recognize this, personalized collateral, based on what we are learning from these customers, we can develop personalized materials. Collateral, email, personalized mail, updated websites, updated Pearls, social networking, blogs, feeds. There's so many different ways to communicate with customers. So this whole model of the arrow, hitting its target has been changed. Another alert, another PowerPoint alert coming up here. Now, it's rotation. It's ongoing communication. It's not a one-way dialogue. It's back, it's forth, it's back, it's forth, it's back, it's forth. So as a result, the customer who was sort of put on the back burner there for a while in sort of stature is coming back into precedence within the organization. And that's a good thing. And one of the main functions in the organization who's advocating on behalf of that customer is the marketer. And the sales force too. And the support staff too, marketing folks realize now they have to hold on to these customers for dear life in these rocky economies. The idea is don't let them go, keep them, maybe grow a few more, but God, don't lose any of our existing customers. Do whatever you can. There's also been an evolution in the marketing mix. I grew up in my day with the 4 Ps, which you're probably all familiar with. It was product, price, place, and promotion. Identify the right product, give it the right price, make sure it's distributed through the right channels, and promote it accordingly. Even that mix, that formula has changed quite a bit. I love this quote from a CMO. CMO said at her company, everything we do is marketing, from our supply chain to what the CEO says over drinks at some dinner to some customer to how our support teams treat our customers. Everything. And I would add to that, marketing is the receptionist. If you have a live receptionist who answers the phone, that's marketing. Accounting is marketing. I have a customer, and we've done some market research for them, customer research. And what they say, and what I've heard from customers is, God, they have the best products. They have the greatest technology. They have terrific salespeople, terrific support. Love this place. And I say, well, is there anything you don't like? And they say, their accounting department is the worst. Just the worst. And they're very angry. As happy as they were about the other stuff, they were as angry about the poor accounting principles, irregular billing statements, confusing statements. It drove them out of their mind. That's not poor accounting. That's poor marketing. That's poor business. And that puts your customers at risk. So the takeaway here is that anything in your organization that touches or creates some experience for the customer is really marketing in its broadest sense. It needs to be added into this ROI equation. But let's get back to what marketers are actually measuring. As I mentioned earlier, what marketers typically measure are the key performance indicators, and their list used to be this: brand awareness, impressions, reach, inquiries, leads, direct sales, foot traffic at retail. So that's were those KPIs at that time. Nowadays, oh my God, now they have to know, okay, what's my search engine rank? How high on my search engine results page does my company appear? How much web traffic am I generating? How many landing page conversions am I generating? How many people that go to my website request the little thing that I've offered, be it a white paper or some special offer, and give me their name? That's a landing page conversion. How many fans have I aggregated through Facebook? How many followers do I have on Twitter? How many connections do I have on LinkedIn? How many dialogues am I engaged in? How many relationships have I developed? What's the chatter out there? What am I being rated? How am I being rated? How am I being referred? What's the customer sentiment? And there are tools for measuring all of these things, the customer sentiment. They can go out and just kind of scrape the blogosphere and see what kind of information is being traded. And this is one of the things about marketing is we have kind of divested so much control as marketers over what's being said about us. It's a little scary, but that's the world that we're in. And for people who don't think that social media can have an impact on your company, you should talk to people like Dell, which so infuriated its owners that they set up a blog called as Dell Hell. Talk to people like Honda or Whole Foods or Comcast, people who got totally flamed badly via social media. Talk to Hosni Mubarak from Egypt. Ask him how social media can affect you. His whole regime, his 30-year regime, dictatorship brought to its knees, largely through social media tools. So again, what's in your marketing toolkit? As I said, you have the tools that can help affect all of those measures, the variable data, short run, et cetera, personalized direct mail, pearls, custom labels, et cetera, print on demand, billboards, QR codes. So this is what you're selling, right? Is this what you're selling? No, absolutely not. Not selling these at all. What I say you're selling, and I'm just suggesting this based on my experience, I've actually put agencies in the same room with PSP folks and marketers in the same room with PSPs. And I've had your peers sit in front of those agencies and explain what they do. And then the PSPs would ask the marketers, how would you describe what I do? First of all, the agencies were upset because they had never heard of this before. They were amazed by these kinds of technology, these tools and these solutions. They had never heard of it. And they were a little upset that they had never heard of it. to be honest. They say, how come we don't know? Why are we hearing about this for the first time? I say, well, that's a whole nother story. But then they said, well, here's what we think you do. Oh, by the way, the PSP said, do you think we're marketers? And their reaction was, be careful about calling yourself a marketer, because there's a lot of sophistication to marketing that you want to make sure you bring to the table before you start positioning yourself as a marketing services. I know there's a lot of you, and I don't want to throw you off that path, but calling yourself a marketing service provider is good as long as you know what you're talking about, and I just don't want you to get tripped up when someone calls you on that. Scott, I know you're with me on that. So what do you call yourself? I don't want to be called a printer. I don't want to be perceived as a printer. And what these folks, and this is just one anecdotal piece of evidence, but I thought it was pretty good. They said, what we think you do, we think you should say, this is a suggestion, that I offer technology solutions that help marketers meet their key performance indicators. I am a bridge with my technology solutions. If you had 10 seconds to tell someone what you do, this is what this group of marketers and agencies suggested, that you are a technology solutions provider, not a printer, not a marketer, technology solutions provider. So in that case, so what are you actually selling? So if that's your elevator pitch, once you get a few more minutes with this person, what are your products? What's in your portfolio? Well, here's some other suggestions. My technology solutions help you generate higher response direct mail. My technology solutions help you create measurable multi-channel marketing campaigns. My technology solutions deliver faster, more cost-efficient collateral production. My technology solutions create higher impact labels and packaging at retail to help you stand out amongst all the zillions of choices on that page, on that shelf. My technology solutions give you market-specific, very targeted point-of-sale materials and outdoor advertising. My technology solutions help develop personalized fulfillment collateral or communications for both online and offline marketing programs. I maintain this whole online communications era is a boon for you guys, because it creates more personalized information, more personalized data that you can in turn send back out. My technology solutions give you stronger customer relationships and loyalty. My technology solutions can give you, sorry for the bad break there, have a stronger brand equity. And let me explain that one. I used to be a marketer when I was marketing and developing materials for sales forces. How many times did I discover that my sales force had created its own piece of collateral, created its own version of the logo with all the wrong colors, all the wrong messages, all the wrong templates, and it was just so destructive to my brand. You have tools that can help control that brand and maintain its equity. You have tools, you have technology that can help me reduce environmental impact of what I'm printing. Do you know, Mr. Customer, this is you talking to you, do you know that roughly 30 to 50% of what you print on offset, it gets trashed, gets thrown away? Do you know the environmental impact of that? Well, I can help you through a variety of tools and technology to reduce that environmental impact, to print only what you want, to reduce that waste, to make you feel good about yourself. I have tools like Pearls, for example, that can help upgrade, and I've done this. I have tools that can improve your database, that can bring it up to date. Now, why am I telling you all this? Because I've done these things. I have used your solutions to accomplish pretty much everything I'm seeing here. This isn't me just speculating about, blue skying it. I've done this using your tools, selling your technology. It can be done, and you should. Let me ask, and again, I've presented this kind of message. Every year I stand up here and I say, does anyone disagree with this? Does anyone want to question this? Does anyone want to deny? Does anyone not understand how this works? That these are the solutions you're really selling? Does anyone? I welcome it. If you want to challenge any of these, please do. Okay, time's up. And that's the same answer I get every year. No, I get it. I kind of get that. Yeah, good. Well, this is what you're selling. If you want to add anything to this, please, by all means, add. Let's take it a little bit deeper. You know, as I say, I've been to every Dscoop since it began. I'm calling this the touchy-feely Dscoop. Everyone that I've listened to is talking about emotions and pain points and building relationships and hugging your customer. And I'm all for that. I'm not making fun of it because I'm doing the same thing right now. This is the touchy-feely Dscoop work. I think it's a sign of the times that we just need to connect more emotionally. We're realizing that we need to do something different to connect with our customers. Why do I have a picture of a sports crowd here? Well, there's a gentleman who has spent 30 years in sports marketing. And he said when he first started in the world of sports marketing, he thought that fans were just in it for the excitement, just to get a diversion from everyday life. What he discovered was that there was really a deeper emotional need for communal experiences, for some hope, for some anticipation, for excitement, for some shared memories. These are more personal, psychological things that he was feeding that sports fed. He said, it's not just about getting away from the humdrum of life. And he said he took it upon himself to find that need in everything he did. He's now in Major League Baseball. He's a marketer for Major League Baseball, but he's been a marketer for multiple professional teams, college teams. He says everything he does is intended to find the need of their customer and create an experience that resonates with their customers emotionally. And that's what we're all doing. We have to resonate with our customers really at an emotional level. Is that scary? Yeah. It's just something to keep in mind as you're trying to sell. Oops, wrong direction. So what emotions should you be able to affect in what you sell with all your digital and technology solutions? I would suggest, and again, it's just a suggestion, that what you sell will help people relieve pain. You know, I get a little tired of talking about pain points because everyone's, oh, what are your pain points? Let's find out what your pain points are. What are your pains? Share with your pain. Yeah, that's called work. It's called the job. Okay? But there's also pleasurable emotions that you can affect with what you sell to your customer. Fulfillment, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of ambition. A lot of people have a sense of ambition they're trying to fulfill, and you can help feed that. Pride. God, I'm so sorry for this. Poor word wraps. How about quality? Creativity. I personally get a large sense of creativity over the kind of things that I can do with your work. Approval, a sense of group approval. Financial achievement. If one of my sincerest emotional needs is to be financially rewarded or to help my organization meet its financial goals, again, you guys have tools that can meet these emotional personal needs. Any disputes, any arguments, any fights? No? So you really are, no matter what we're selling to the human being. We're selling to human emotional need. And we all have. And the trick is to find out, what is that human emotional need? We came across this great little scorecard that allows you, that if you're honest, you can kind of get deeper into how strong a relationship are you developing with your customer. And you can develop a relationship score. For example, it starts with, ask yourself and answer it honestly, how strong is the client's trust in your professional experience? Then ask yourself, are you perceived amongst your clients as a thought leader and a contributor to your customer's business? Then ask yourself, do you have access to the inner circle? Do you have a seat at the table when those strategic and operational discussions are being had? How openly does the client share with you their proprietary or sensitive information, or even their plans? Or do they just call you and say, do this? Don't ask me why, just do this. Is the client always loyal to you when purchasing the types of things that you sell? Or are they going elsewhere for some of it? Is your customer an advocate for you within the organization or amongst their peers, their families and friends? Or are they just kind of so-so about what you do? What is the breadth and depth of your relationship in the company? Are you just relating with one person, or do you have access to widespread numbers of people, particularly at higher levels? Do you provide your entire range of services to that person? Or are you just kind of pigeonholed, providing one little thing? That's a problem that we have in our agency. We started as a video production firm, and we have clients that continue with us. And that's all they'll call us for is video production. I say, well, we also do direct marketing, and we also do advertising, we also do website work, and we also do SEO work and all the rest. No. They can't see us outside of that box. So we're not selling our entire range of services. What share of wallet do you have for that particular client? You're getting everything that client is buying? And finally, can you prove without a scintilla of doubt that you have either increased revenues in some way, that you have reduced maybe the levels of risk and volatility, or that you have lowered costs in some way? Is there anyone here that can say yes to every one of these things? Because if there is, you are good, really good. I can't always do it. I can get part of them, I can get some of them, hopefully I can come close to getting all, but I can't say yes to all of them. That would be a perfect score. It's almost the impossible dream. But you got to be honest with yourself. It's very sobering to put yourself through this self-analysis and to put your company through this kind of analysis. So let's talk about the final takeaways here. As I mentioned earlier, I see that you folks have a big play in the marketer's effort to become more analytical, to deliver more tools, to provide new ideas, to suggest new technologies, to embrace more analytics, to become a little more analytical, and give that marketer, you can give your marketer a lot more stature within the organization that they haven't had before. This is a ripe time to be doing that kind of work. Again, I mentioned that anything in your organization, just repeating what I said earlier, that the takeaways are anything that creates or touches or creates some experience for that customer needs to be incorporated into the equation. As I mentioned earlier, these are not your tools. I mean, these are only your tools. This is not what you're selling. These are your tools. That's great. I mean, if you're selling a pharmaceutical device, you're really not selling a pharmaceutical. You're selling good health. If you're selling a mutual fund, you're selling financial stability or growth. If you're selling a sports drink, you're really selling thirst quencher. You're not selling the fund. You're selling the benefit of that. So this is not what you're selling, at least in my eyes. You can tell me I'm wrong. But it hasn't gotten me far when I've tried to sell it like that. I hit a brick wall. So your elevator pitch, again, try it out. I don't know, if you have an opportunity to talk to a customer, say, I'm a technology solutions provider and I can help, but not just that, I can help you meet your key marketing performance indicators. And what you sell, again, as I said earlier, I know that works, excuse me. Let me go back. I know that this is what you're selling because I've sold it. And these are the only ways I've been able to successfully sell as sort of resellers. As resellers of what you do, this is the only way that I've been able to sell it. This is the only thing that addresses their real needs. This is their language. This is the kind of stuff that they care about. It's the only way I've been able to do it is to sell things that people care about. They don't care about my 4-color digital press. They don't care about my 70 pages a minute or whatever it is. They don't care about your great workflow. That's you're going to kill the conversation right then and there. It's nice to have, but that's not what you're selling. And marketing ROI in general, when we talk about return on investment, it's not just about the sale anymore. It just isn't. It won't be until that MAS group really has decided that it has created the cause and effect links between marketing and cash flow. We're not there yet, like I said, 10 years from now. What we're selling are relationships, and what I'm saying to you is that you have tools that will help establish these relationships. You really do. To help establish them, not only establish them, but measure them. And again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. I ask, does anyone not see that? That you have the tools that can help build these relationships and keep them going and make them ongoing and two-directional. This is my final slide. Why do I have a picture of a Formula One car? And why do I have Facebook up here? Because yesterday, it dawned on me, I was talking to this group of marketers, and they said, well, I think it was Martin Savreda. Yeah, it was he. And they said, well, we think Martin's a printer. We think of him as a printer. And I said, no. Calling Martin and you a printer is like calling a Formula One vehicle a car. Calling you a printer is like calling Facebook another website. It's so completely different. So complete. It's at a different level. I would just say strike printer from your mind. Strike printer from whatever you say. Some people are going to try to keep you in that box. Don't let them. Don't let them, because that's not what you are. Thank you.